Good morning, children. Today's topic is evolution. Day 19, 11, 20. So, in this variation, first of all, we will talk about variation. What is actually variation? Variation is a small genetic differences. So, generally, how the variations are created? Inbuilt tendency to variation is during sexual reproduction. So, in this sexual reproduction, what will happen actually? Errors in DNA copying. So, what is the main essence of variation? Errors in DNA copying. So, here we are going to discuss this about how actually the variations are created and how it leads to evolution. I am not going to define evolution and make the concept so complicated. It will be very interesting if you understand, if you just pay attention. Little attention is required. Okay, here I am going to discuss three situations. So, one is how green beetles developed, blue beetles developed, and how elephant foot acted on this beetles population. So, this we are going to discuss. Come on, situation 1. Actually, in green bushes, happily the red beetles were surviving. Very happily they were surviving. So, what happened? As a DNA copying, a DNA error, one green beetle formed. A green beetle has developed. So, green beetle development is it is a DNA error, copying in DNA error. Then what happened? Slowly, these crows. What are the enemies for these beetles? Crows. So, these two crows, how angrily they are watching. So, whenever they will observe this red color beetle, because why I drew green color background, it is green bush. In green bushes, red color will be clearly seen. So, these red beetles were picked by the crows and were eaten. So, slowly what happened? The red beetles population slowly reducing, but they are reproducing. How best they are reproducing, and their population is not maintaining. Even then they are also surviving and the crows are also eating them. And in such situation, suddenly a variation occurred in the form of green color. So, what happened now? In this green background, the green beetle is unable to seen by the crows. So, crows could not identify this green beetle, so that they were keep on eating red beetles. Okay, then what happened? That after certain time, so slowly the population slowly growing, more in number of green beetles than red beetles, and red beetles were keep on picking by the crows. So, crows were eating red beetles because they can see very clearly, and green beetle population got an advantage because they can camouflage themselves in the green bushes. So, that's why they could survive. So, in this situation, what we can understand? So, suddenly what happened? The red beetle, actually previously total red beetles population. Now, what happened? Total population became green color. And did you expect that the total red beetles will become green beetles? No. What is the main reason here? And how this happened? This is because variation. So, and this variation also, what is the essence of this variation? This variation gave survival advantage. Survival advantage. How it could help these beetles? Because the enemies, the predators, unable to see this green color. So, that's why they could survive. So, slowly what happened? The red beetle population completely converted into green beetle population, because this is not luck. This is not by luck. This is natural selection. What is the first concept? Up to these three slides, what you can understand? This is called a natural selection. Nature itself accepted this green color because the green is not visible to the predators. Who are the predators? The crows are the predators. The birds are the predators. So, these predators were unable to see this green color in the green background, green color beetles. They were unable to identify. That's why the green beetles could survive and they can increase their number than the red beetles. So, slowly red beetle population reduced and green beetle population increased. So, what is the main reason? Variation is the main reason. Okay. So, nature is accepting. Whenever nature accepts any variation, it will be promoted to the next generation. If it is not accepted, then it will be perished within that particular organism. Okay, this is situation 1. Then another situation. In the same way, you may ask, why only green color? So many other colors also may appear, no? Yes, here blue color. In red beetles population, what developed as a variation, blue color appeared. And you know that red color, how it best it can be seen. In the same way, blue color also will be seen by this crows. So that's why crows were keep on picking these blue beetles as well as red beetles. There is no partiality for these crows. They were both eating red and blue in the same ratio. But blue beetle population is slow because just now they developed, no, slowly they are reproducing. In that situation, what happened? As a natural calamity, an elephant when it is going to get its food, it stamped on the total bush. So the elephant foot stamped on the bush, and what happened? Unluckily, all the red beetles were under the elephant foot and got killed, and only blue beetles could survive. Here you have to understand one point. What is the point? Does the blue beetle has any survival advantage? Is it accepted by the nature? No. But these blue beetles are able to survive because in nature, in the form of natural calamity, all the red beetles were died. Due to that, the blue beetles remained and they started surviving. So, in the population slowly became blue color now. So, even though it do not have any survival advantage, sometimes the natural calamities, if the population is less in number, natural calamities plays a major role in extinction of species. Now, red beetles are no more. All the beetles became blue color. In the case 1, you can observe that the green color which came into the existence in the form of a variation occupied the total population. This we call it as natural selection. What is actually natural selection? Every organism is ready to increase its number, but the nature and natural resources are limited. So to get this natural resources, what every organism will start doing it, they will start fighting among themselves to get the raw materials. In this fight, some organisms will die, and few of them which are having survival advantage, which are having the potentiality, are going to survive. So first the fighting or the struggle for their survival is called struggle for existence, and in this struggle for existence, who is going to win? The survival of the fittest. Who is going to win? Survival of the fittest. So this is this law was given by Darwin, Charles Darwin. Okay, he was treated as father of evolution. Next, what happened? Blue beetle appeared. Even though blue beetle is not having any survival advantage because the nature is not protecting this color, even then they occupied maximum percentage of population because the nature in the form of natural calamity washed away or removed the total red color population. So because of that, even though the not a very easy variation is not seen in the total, we can understand that in both situations, what started out as a rare variation came to a common characteristic in the population. In that first case, green color, and in the second case, blue color. In other words, the frequency of an inherited trait changed over generations. Since genes control traits, we can say that the frequency of certain genes in a population changed over generations. This is the main essence of the idea of evolution. So, changing in the frequency of genes is called, over generation is called evolution. So, 9th class we discussed evolution is nothing but acquired accumulation of characteristics for better survival. So, this is also for better survival only. Okay. Next, And there is some different situations also. Sometimes when the survival advantage even not present, but that are accepted by the nature as an accidental survival. Accidental survival means but just like a fluke, they will uh, start surviving. So that is called a genetic drift. That mechanism is called genetic drift. Here we can say that this condition is called a genetic drift. Genetic drift means accidental survival. It's not actually pre-planned or any adaptations they developed. It's just like that accidental survival. Okay. So far we discussed these things. Now, if another case is there, that is now two cases we discussed. Third case, three cases, no sorry, three cases. One is green and another one is blue and another one is elephant foot. So these three things we discussed, and the fourth one is for example, if the the bushes where these organisms are surviving, if the bushes got some fungal infection, so what happens, those bushes will dry up, so that the beetles will not get any food. Due to that, what happens, due to the scarcity of food, the size of the beetles will start reducing, and slowly generations together the size will be reduced. But the reducing in size is not a inherited trait, and after 10 or 15 generations, if the again the plants become normal, means the disease is washed away and again the new plants have developed there. So because of that, what happens, again the bushes will be green in color. No, this beetle start eating good amount of food, again the size will retain or regain. So in this condition we can say that some characteristics of inherited traits and some characteristics of acquired traits. So acquired traits cannot be transferred from one generation to another generation, like the tattoos, next to our experiences with someone, these are all called acquired traits. Inherited traits, already in the chapter starting we discussed color of the hair, color of the pupil, next rolling tongue, these things. Okay. Thank you. Remaining topic we will discuss in the next class.